There is a whole lot going on in Reno, well, sort of Reno, at Giga Semi at least, and we have got, of course, the expert here to chat with us. We're going to be doing a two-parter. In the first part, we're going to be talking about everything that is known. And in the second part, we're going to get a little speculative and try and make some assumptions about what we don't know for sure. I'm joined by Zanegler, the Tesla Semi advocate. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So Zanegler runs a heck of a channel. He's out there in the air once, twice a week, sometimes more, checking it all out, keeping us informed, and it is hugely valuable. If you are not subscribed over there, please subscribe, show some support, show some love. It is tough to make it on YouTube. It is a real racket, and we are just glad to have him. Zanegler, welcome. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I enjoy watching your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate hearing that. It is, it's a bit of work what we do. So in part one, we're going to talk about what is known. First of all, it's not in Reno. It's not in Sparks. Where is it?
It's halfway between Sparks and Fernley, which is the town I live in. They call it the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, and it's nowhere near Tahoe, and it's close to Reno on USA Parkway.
If you've ever seen Tahoe, even pictures of it, you will notice that it doesn't look anything like the Giga Nevada site. It is a completely different climate even.
Yeah,
so that's trees. Where it is. There are wild horses where trees should be, if you're used to seeing trees. Is there housing around there? It looks like it's pretty far out. I've been there a couple times. I've never been any closer than of course the guard station, but there's not much out there.
No, the housing, you either have to come from Sparks, Reno, which is about 20 miles or so, or you have to do the reverse commute from Fernley, the town I live in, which is kind of why I purchased out there. I figured it would be the next growth area for not just for Tesla, but that whole Tahoe Reno Industrial Center is expanding rapidly with Redwood Materials, Google, and Switch, and all just unbelievable fulfillment centers. It's quite there's a veritable explosion of construction out there.
So the Giga Nevada site is quite large. What can you tell us about how big the site itself is?
Well, the legacy Giga Nevada is about 8 years old now. And I even asked Grok this morning for statistics on the Giga Semi, and it's not really out there. But I did do this. I did use Google, and I roughly compared the blueprint of the 6 sections of Giga Semi with the legacy Giga Nevada, and it's about 60% of the footprint of the legacy Giga Nevada. The new Giga Semi is.
Wow.
That's the footprint.
Wow.
I think the Nevada is bigger, taller, but it's a huge factory.
It is a huge factory. The land itself is what, 2,500 acres, do you think?
All of it? All of Giga Nevada, or just the
Yeah. All of the land that Tesla controls.
I think it might be more than that. I mean, it goes all the way up on the mountain. Because when early on, I thought about trying to get up on that mountain east of it, and that's all Tesla property too.
That's a lot of area to control. Do you have, so we know that the building itself is very big, and that leads to, of course, a lot of speculation, which we'll get into in part 2. Do you have sources on the ground?
Not that you're aware of. I think I'm quoting, not as far as you know.
That is the correct answer, by the way.
Not as far as you know, I think is the line from Spies Like Us. But virtually everything I prognosticate is speculation, maybe mixed in with a little bit of overhearing people at the market or at a restaurant, or, but it's mostly just speculation, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that is the correct answer. I have had some sources at some locations at different times, and I've had a number of different people, especially in other peripheral companies, parts suppliers, logistics suppliers, and whatnot, uh, that definitely wished to remain anonymous. My sources are not as robust as they have been in the past, but I focus a lot more on the technology aspect, which doesn't rely as heavily on that. Now, early on, you had a flight ban. Uh, how are you able to get around that now?
It was a regular David and Goliath struggle at first. And I don't really want to get too into that, but I will say all along, I never got nasty because I'm a Tesla advocate, not just a semi advocate, but I'm a longtime shareholder. And Tesla has been very good to me. So they just, for some reason, and I would always ask them, security, I would ask them why I printed the thing from Elon where he said drone flights are fine as long as they're stay at a respectful distance and don't interfere or endanger the workers. I handed that to him early on, and he said, "That's not here. That's Giga, Nevada." I've joked that what are they keeping alien bodies in there, but I can't say that at this point in time, it's a productive relationship. Um, if you know, I can't say for sure if they really like me flying, but they tolerate me. We'll
That
see if I ever get invited to an event, and
yes.
that'll be the tell if they're just putting up with me or not.
I'm going to say I think they like you because they put that Easter egg out for you. If you're not watching his videos, you need to, because I won't show you everything he does on my channel. I save the good stuff for his channel. And I don't show the actual videos. I just show stills because I want to support him. I want you guys to support him. And I think the Easter egg that they hid for you was for you. It doesn't quite compare to Hi Joe on the top of a
I,
flagpole, but it's pretty good.
I was pretty stoked when I saw that, and I go so far as to say it was for the viewers through me, but for the viewers, and they do get a lot of publicity, exposure, and I've always wondered why certain people whose name rhymes with Milan don't ever like them. To get, it would increase exponentially, several orders of magnitude. I will say that the very one, I don't know if you've probably seen the video going up Donner Pass. He did like that, and
Mhm.
that was kind of the very beginning of this all, and that's now up to like 4 million views.
Wow. Well, that was a good demonstration of what the product can do. The electric drivetrain for applications like that is just superior. You've got all that torque as long as you can keep the battery and the motors cool, which it appears they can. It's just a better system, and then you get a bunch of the energy back on the downhill on the other side. It's a winning combination.
It really is cool. And as I pointed out before, the big breakthrough was the torque drive axle coupled with the efficiency drive axle. If you remember, the original semi was supposed to have one Model 3 motor on each of the four axles. I don't think that worked too well. I think that might be part of the reason for the delay. Anyway, I think that might be part of the reason why it seemingly was a long delay, but they've got it dialed in now with that torque drive axle that disconnects the two plaid-esque motors, and it just uses the one. I think that goes a long way to, you've seen the efficiency of it is mind-boggling, and it's not just Tesla saying that. We've got metrics.
What we were quoted at the unveiling event was 2 kilowatt hours per mile. In testing, we've seen anywhere from 1.6 to 1.7 and change, which is, I mean, to beat your mark by 20, 30%, I guess, 10 to 15% is substantial. That is that is what you love to see.
Yeah, I think the TDA, oh, I was just going to interject one more thing. I think the TDA not only makes it more efficient, I think it made it more reliable, which you were talking about, the heat and other issues. I think there were other big issues that it resolved, as well as making it much more efficient.
I think that's entirely possible. A question I've had people ask is, why do you think the semi is in a completely separate building from the main Giga Nevada building?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that original rendering of the expansion was a thing of beauty. I mean, that thing was pulchritudinous, possessing physical beauty. I mean, it was just awesome with the new entry. I think that they needed more space, more contiguous space. I think they didn't want to interrupt existing production. And I think they found a cheaper way to construct buildings, which is a big part of this new factory. No cranes or minimal cranes.
For those who didn't see it, it was insane. Uh, I was watching it, you were watching it, and all the materials started showing up. They're staging steel, but where are the cranes? You cannot build a building without cranes. It cannot be done. And then forklifts and man lifts got to work, an army of them. It was pretty unique to see. I mean, I've certainly never seen anything like that, not for a building of this scale. And that was pretty.
And you have to give BZI, that company, if you ever do, if any of the viewers want to look into that company, I would love to invest in that company. It's private. BZI, the Mesmaster, the panel table, and the Sky braces are all part of that BZI um, technique. And I give credit to Tesla for finding BZI. And by the way, I think they're building a giant, um, BZI is helping to build another EV factory for Hyundai or somebody, but you can
Mm.
find that on their website.
I would agree with you that the main reason is they want to keep the original factory for batteries and have room to expand battery production over there without kind of butting into the semi production. And also worth noting, and some of your more recent videos show this really well, there is a substantial change in grade over this site. This is in the mountains. This is in the hills at least. It is not as flat as it looks from 300 feet up. Uh, and so having it, even if they put it next to it and then plan to connect them in the future, the change in altitude is too much.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about it is I never thought that they would use the warehouse on wheels area. That area, if you saw the earlier videos, and I learned the term from Joe Tegmeyer, the warehouse on wheels, and the whole technique of using trailers and not having a separate factory to store your supplier parts and raw materials. But that was a giant warehouse on wheels, and they just started moving all those trailers out. They built two small warehouse on wheels. I call one the Panasonic warehouse on wheels because it's at the south end by Panasonic, and the other one I call the Tesla warehouse on wheels. But those two are not nearly the size of the existing one. And there's another warehouse on wheels further away that you can't see when I do a look around. It's behind a hill, but there's another large warehouse on wheels on the property. So it's just an interesting thing how they did that.
That is very interesting. So, guys, there's going to be a part two coming up to this in probably a couple days where we will be discussing what we think is coming next. Pure speculation, mostly, some of it educated, some of it less. In the meantime, pretty please go over and show some love to Zanegler's channel. Link in the description, of course. And when he says he's the Tesla semi advocate, he means semi truck. He's not a semi advocate, he's a full advocate. So let's make sure we keep that joke going because I enjoy it. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming by. Everybody, like, subscribe, head on over, see what he's up to, maybe show him some support. And everybody else, if you have questions, oh, there you go. If you have questions, certainly ask them. There may be a part three if we get enough good questions that will trick him into coming back to share his wisdom. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, in part two.